Right, Albyrin. Hey guys, welcome to my Neputia continent, and we're going to be doing an A to Z. Basically, what an A to Z is basically, I'm going to tell you a little bit, I'm going to tell you a guide to all of the countries from A to Z, starting with A, Albyrin, located in eastern Neputia. This is a map from Neputia itself. Albyrin is part of the main four eastern countries spread across Neputia, with Palmar, Vardonia, Lunessa, Albyrin, Macquarie, and Damalan, as well as Tweeland. And out of these six, Albyrin is slap bang in the middle. I'll just change the colour of Albyrin so you know where Albyrin is. Okay, yeah, it's over here. Now, from what I've seen, Albyrin is actually quite a nice place. Well, apart from some questionable places and spots. That doesn't include questionable driving skills and lack of communication problems. Busy towns, but a great culture. People will also start to harass you to watch their amazing street acts. But I've got to be honest, they are actually quite good. But there are a ton of mountains for you to go and see up there. And some beautiful hiking spots. There's also a lot of green land, as well as a lot of whiskey distilleries. They're not really towns, but yes, Albyrin does have 5 main towns. Ershta, Belativia, Eichelsobos, Kjestoin, and the main capital, which is Kierzk. Now, Kierzk is one of those cities where you can get stuck in traffic for hours. And I mean hours. But other than that, it's really nice. And if you're Lucinian, you will be halted by some Albyrins. In Jekstein, you can try travelling up the mountains and the mountainy roads. You'll also be able to see the mountains from the city. Lovely place, Kjestoin. I went there last week, just came back, and it's a lovely place. You find a lot of holiday resorts. This is the main holiday resort city where most people will come for their holiday, so don't expect it to be too, busy. Well, the other way around, really. Don't know what the word for it is. The most famous place in Kjestoin is probably the little tree outy bit. That's called the Kjestoin Playa. Reason being, those trees have been there for centuries of years. Same with that little piece of land. Anyway, Kjestoin, lovely place. Eichelsobos. Sorry, that wasn't Eichelsobos, that was France, Paris. But anyway, this is Eichelsobos, as you can see, probably one of the busiest cities in Albyrin. Eichelsobos is home to the Albyrinik River, which is the longest river in all of Albyrin. The Albyrinik River runs all the way down through Eichelsobos and ends just before it reaches, what is that? Belativia. So that is the Eichelsobos River, or also known as the Albyrinik River. Although Eichelsobos is probably where you'll get most of the car crashes you see on the news. But that's not to say it's a bad thing or anything. It is just extremely packed there. Eichelsobos is probably also one of the main religious cities, having I think 60% of its country Orthodox Christian and 40% of its country Islamic. The next one we're talking about is Belativia, and yep, that's what we're starting off with. Yep, Albyrin's people tend to not have a good academic rate because their academic rate and their schools are quite dated and quite poor. Albyrin's normal range tends to be £2,000 to £3,000. Albyrin also has roundabouts, and most of them are very obscure. But the people there are really fun, they're really hyperactive, and they're a lot to laugh about actually. Most people in Albyrin can take a joke really, and I mean they can take a joke, especially in Bellativia. Albyrin also runs a train line that goes from the capital of Albyrin to the capital of Lunesia. This is called the Vrokstron Hyperjet. And Vrokstrok in Albranese also means fast. Bellativia is probably also home to some of the craziest events, like the bike event that happens in the summer of Albranese to celebrate the day when it got its independence. So Bellativia is not the best place to visit, especially if you don't want to kill in car. But apart from that, it's definitely one for the bucket list. Okay, now Ershta. Now Ershta is definitely the place to go if you're more of a sightseeing person than a holiday person. But the way people manage it and the way people stroll around it's just so majestic. Its famous landmark is a landmark by the name of Highway 42. And basically Highway 42 basically connects Albyrin to Regaluca, the biggest country in the world. This is probably also one of the safest cities. Yep, definitely no car crashes here. The town itself can be quite busy, especially in the middle of the day. Also, 20 to 30% of Albryns population are candle burners. You know what I mean. Around 5% of those people are actually in Ershta, according to the Albyrin safety website I read about. And if you're into nature, a place called Westway Park in eastern Ershta is the perfect place for you. Albyrin has 5 main cities, the capital being Kierzk, and then you have 4 other: Krzestoin, Isle Sibos, Belatvia, and Ershta. Albyrin borders 3 countries, including Lunesa, Macquarie, and Regaluca. 20 to 30% of the population, 5% in Ershta, 15% in Isle Sibos, and 5% in Kierzk, and then just a few little ones in Krzestoin and Belativia. The nearest capital to Kierzk is Macquarie's capital, Vakard, and the closest normal city is Eridosk. It has some poor schools. It has some special events like bicycle running for the Independence Day of Albyrin. We of course can't forget Christmas, Halloween and Easter and St. Patrick's Day. 200 to 400 car crashes occur daily, and it has a nice culture with street dancing, hiking and other nature reserves, as well as billions of different types of nearby religions or something like that. But yeah guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned some stuff about Albyrin, and next up I think it's another A. How many A's are there?